Okay.
So I left. It was a very ad hoc preparation, and I tried कि हो जाएगा. I saw multiple videos like your videos, Susheel videos, and there are many videos on YouTube.
Sociology. So how much UPSC preparation helped you in scoring in GA, and what was your score in phase 1?
I have always thought that any exam that I will clear in one attempt, I will not be settling in that exam. That is why that is my Bible line. So I cleared CGL first I cleared CDS, I did not stop there. I cleared FTR, I did not stop. I cleared serial, and in one attempt I did not stop. I cleared CAPF, I did not stop. I cleared ICA, RAO, I did not stop. Then I attempted RBI, unfortunately I cleared this also. So I'm not targeting UPSC. Like I had one thing in my mind from the very beginning, that any exam that I'm able to clear in one attempt, I think I'm made for a better job that is relatively more tougher, and that will give me even more prospects.
I'm coming in between now because you have cleared the exam. Will you share notes with the aspirant?
I would love to share it, sir, if possible.
Okay, I will take it from you.
I took mock sessions, like you also took, Susheel also took one of the mocks, and they also gave me very good suggestions. There was a ma'am, she gave me very good suggestions. So I would say my interview was one of the longest interview in the interview process. It went for around 40 minutes.
40 minutes?
It was very good. Yes, sir, it was very good.
Hello Amit, welcome to Exam B, and many congratulations for cracking RBI Grade B exam. तो आज हम अमित आपसे बात करेंगे. वी वुड लाइक टू नो योर स्टोरी. मोस्ट इंटरेस्टिंग कि आपने जॉब में रहते हुए तैयारी करी है और ये एग्जाम निकाला है. वेरी वेलकम टू एग्जाम.
थैंक यू सो मच सर, एंड थैंक यू फॉर द अपॉर्चुनिटी टू लेट मी शेयर माय व्यूज.
तो नहीं, हमें तो आपसे बात करके बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है, और आई एम श्योर कि जो लोग आपके इस तो उस स्टोरी को सुनेंगे तो वो भी सीखेंगे. तो मैं पहले जानना चाहूंगा कि जॉब में रहते हुए, एंड दैट टू यू आर वर्किंग इन कॉर्पोरेट जहाँ पे जॉब प्रेशर काफी रहता है, किस तरीके से आपने एक शुरुआत की, कहाँ से मोटिवेशन किया, और क्या क्या चैलेंजेस रहे, और किस तरीके से आपने ओवरकम किया?
Yes sir. Sir, the main thing that problem comes in corporate sector is of time. That is true, and that is the reason I resigned around few months back. But when it comes to the motivation, I think corporate life does give you a lot of.
आपने
करीब 2-3 महीने पहले सर.
2-3 महीने पहले. अच्छा, okay.
My entire preparation for RBI Grade B would be around 2 months only. So it was a very ad hoc preparation because मेरा प्लानिंग थी यूपीएससी देने की, बट देन इट चेंज्ड एंड मैंने सोचा कि लेट्स वर्क फॉर प्लान बी फर्स्ट, देन मैं शांत दिमाग से आई कैन प्रोसीड करना या नहीं करना है बाद में. सो आई लेफ्ट. इट वाज अ वेरी एड हॉक प्रिपरेशन, एंड आई ट्राइड कि हो जाएगा. आई सॉ मल्टीपल वीडियोस लाइक योर वीडियोस, सुशील videos, and there are many videos on YouTube to get a brief idea about how to go about it. Before this, I attempted RBI in 2022, but उस समय I did not prepare anything. It was just an attempt कि let's try. तो वो हुआ नहीं. That was pretty much apparent to me कि होना नहीं है. But then this time when the notification came, I was sure कि this time I need a backup because it's been around 3-4 years since I passed out from my college, and now I wanted to have some good financial backup, and a backup that can give me a satisfaction that yes, it is a good job which I can pursue as my main career later on. So I was looking for multiple opportunities. Yes, sir. I saw various exams, like I have cleared multiple exams in the past, like CGL, I cleared ICAR, Administrative Officer, and then I saw the notification for NABARD, RBI, and based on the reviews that you give, that the social advisor gave, and based on the discussions I had in various Telegram groups जहाँ लोग बताते हैं, I could see that this is a very, very good option for people who are in this domain and for those who can make it into it. So that was a very good motivation.
Because जो आप बता रहे हैं ना, I am actually really happy to see कि you cleared this administrative officer, CGL and RBI Grade B. So first time means you cleared phase 1 and phase 2 and the final selection.
Yes sir, it was first time.
22 तो आपने ऐसे दिया था जिसमें आपको कुछ नहीं हुआ.
Yes sir.
ऐसे दे दिया था. This is interesting. So how did you manage this preparation of phase 1, phase 2 interview? तो I know because you are a working candidate, थोड़ा सा confidence रहता है.
Yes sir.
You resigned by that time. But कैसे रहा आपका journey phase 1 especially and then phase 2? And your background is engineering.
Yes sir. So sir, phase 1 I would say I have pretty good idea, command on maths, reasoning and English. Not that much at the level of RBI, but since I have cleared CGL in past, so I have a pretty good background. I just needed to align it with the demands of RBI. Apart from that, it is the GA part. So GA, I think, sir, I am from a UPSC background. Last year I gave UPSC mains too, but I could not make it due to some medical reasons. But I think being in UPSC, we read a lot of stuff, so it may not come handy directly, but in the peripheral knowledge does help somewhere. and seeing the nature of RBI that is changing just from a statement-based question to a multiple statement question. So they give a lot of options to use the peripheral knowledge that we have. Apart from that, the sources that are available for, like, there are multiple institutes, like you have BPDA and all.
Yeah.
So what I did, I used 2-3 magazines of different institutes, and that made me a comprehensive source. And then I revised it, and I think I did around 2 to 3 months because I did not have much time. It was a very ad hoc strategy. And then based on my peripheral knowledge and using the things that I have completed, I did not chase multiple resources. And one of the most important thing which I did in the phase 1, which I think it is very important, is the selection of questions, which I always tell people, because in every exam, be it UPSC, be it RBI, be it CGL, or be it any level of exam, any kind of exam, they always give certain kind of easy questions that we have to catch up on. It is the same Pareto principle that 80% of the marks will come from 20% of the syllabus. So we have to prioritize the topics. We have to prioritize the topics. We have to choose it. We have to make a strategy, follow it, and be very selective in the exam. Because I think there are very less people who use maths and reasoning as their scoring mechanism. Most of them are trying only to clear the cutoff. And I think any exam gives enough question to clear the cutoff when it is a sectional paper. Then I think if you can choose certain exams like 6, 7 questions, you can choose easily qualify RBI. And I think this year also, if we have a little background, if we have worked a little in maths and reasoning, I think this sectional cutoff can be cleared easily. I capitalized upon English, which was a relatively easy subject, and general awareness, of course. So I think this is the way I went forward, and coincidentally it worked for me.
You must be good in general awareness because you have been preparing for UPSC. So UPSC, what was your optional subject, because you went to the mains also, you said?
Yes, sir. It was sociology, sir.
Sociology. So how much UPSC preparation helped you in scoring in GA, and what was your score in phase 1?
So I do not remember my score exactly, but I think UPSC background, it does not have help directly, but there are 2 things which help in UPSC. First is the soft skill, the study of the art of studying, art of capitalizing upon the strength, art of analyzing the things. And apart from that, the peripheral knowledge that we have, because we do not get the syllabus is not direct that whatever we read, we mostly read static stuff in UPSC, the conceptual stuff. Those do not come in general awareness phase 1 part. But the peripheral knowledge that we have, that is very helpful. For example, there was a question on Edward Snowden, which I remember. That's the only question I remember. So in that question, we may not know the name exactly, but since we have studied about data leaks and other things, which was in news when we had the Cambridge Analytica issue of Facebook, then we read about Edward Snowden and all. So that peripheral knowledge does come in handy when that is the maximum help we get from UPSC. Otherwise, we have to work same as other people who are preparing only for RBI. So I think that wouldn't be the right thing to tell.
Were you really burning the midnight oil because you left your job and you cracked all, like phase 1, phase 2, and not only RBI, you also cracked CGL, you cracked then AO. So what was the secret sauce? One is, you said, the selective resources and art of selecting the questions. So 2 things I have picked up. So what is otherwise the hard work or the motivation, or there is the fight to win? So what was happening in your mind, means how you were doing it?
Sir, to be very frank and not to boast, there is one thing that keeps me moving. I have always thought that any exam that I will clear in 1 attempt, I will not be settling in that exam. That is why that is my Bible line. So I cleared CGL. First I cleared CDS. I did not stop there. I cleared FCAT. I did not stop. I cleared CGL, and in 1 attempt I did not stop. I cleared CAPF. I did not stop. I cleared ICAO, RAO. I did not stop. Then I attempted RBI. Unfortunately, I cleared this also. So I'm not targeting UPSC. I had one thing in my mind from the very beginning, that any exam that I'm able to clear in 1 attempt, I think I made for a better job that is relatively more tougher, and that will give me even more prospects. That is the one line that has been driving me throughout.
So now with RBI, you are going to settle. You said that you are not going further for UPSC.
Sir, I will certainly try to push my limits if possible.
Yeah. So you join RBI, and after that you can decide that.
Yes, sir. I will try my best to push my limits, sir.
Right. So you are an engineering graduate, postgraduate, and you must have scored very, very well, I believe, in descriptive part. Or you have any comment in the phase 2, how good you were in descriptive versus objective, economics versus finance part, means ESI and FM paper, and also English descriptive. Which were your weakness? Which were your strengths?
Sir, when it comes to strength, I would say descriptive writing is my strength because in ICAR AO, the pattern was exactly like UPSC, same means answer writing. So that time I practiced answer writing rigorously. I see in ICAR also in the mains part, I was one of the highest scorers in India. So because there were only 34 seats and we cleared in 34 seats, so there was also a tough competition there. So I got lesser marks in interview, but I qualified because of my mains score. It was very high. So I had a pretty good confidence on mains part. That I think worked in my favor. And the second thing which I did was mainly related to objective thing, because objective is something where it is do or die game. So for objective, what I did, ESI, of course, it was tough for me. So what I did in that I made a consolidated resource for schemes and reports. Like I had a principle that I have to summarize the entire scheme in one page. One scheme, one page rule. What I did is that I used multiple resources of different institutes. I compiled each and every point, even the single dot that is available in government sources. I have to write it on a paper. So whenever suppose there is Manrega, and when I see my resource in Manrega, there should not be even a dot that is missing from there. So whatever, I made sure that whatever I'm not reading, I will leave that question. But whatever I'm reading, that I will not leave a single question from that. That was my main principle. So I think I still have those notes where I made a consolidated resource. So I had around 15 to 20 or 30, I think 30 schemes. 30 schemes, 30 pages. And I can, when I gave the exam, I could bet that nothing will come out of this. And exactly that happened. So I targeted those questions. The same happened in reports. And whatever things was out of my notes, I left it simply. I did not try to take risks. So I think that worked for me in objective part.
So now,
and apart from that...
Yeah, now I'm coming in between. Now because you have cleared the exam, will you share notes with the aspirant?
I would love to share it if possible.
Okay, I will take it from you.
Yes, I have made a Telegram channel. I will share in that also. Okay. There are many people who joined that, so I'll help them with that.
So then it is available on the Telegram channel. So that is for the information of the audience. So this, I like it, very, very interesting thing. One scheme, one page. I want to ask one question here, because for most of the people, remembering so many government schemes and so much data, so how you crack that thing?
Sir, if we stick, like people say that we have to study a lot in ESI, but if we see, there are majorly 25 to 30 schemes that we have studied, majorly, if we see. And if we compile the reports, I don't think it will come more than 15 to 20 reports.
Yeah.
So if we consolidate it into one page, so if we see, suppose 15 to 20 reports and 25 to 30 schemes, it would be around 50. I think 50 pages for an ESI exam, for such a big exam, is not a big thing. 50 pages is nothing. When it comes to it. The problem is that we don't consolidate the things and we think that we have to study a lot of pages, 1000 pages we have to study. But when we compile it at one place and then we do multiple revisions, then it becomes very small. And I don't think anybody will disagree with this, that 50 pages for entire ESI wala part for objective for such a prestigious exam is a big thing. No, it is not a big thing. If we cannot do that much also, then I think we don't deserve this exam. So that is how it's all about tricking your mind, so that we have to do this much only. And I have a habit of making very small notes. I'll write very small, just so that I can have that mental satisfaction that I have to read these many pages only. So those things are there that like boost our motivation. And the same thing which I did for management. I think I did not study management for more than once, or I think 2 times maximum. I did not remember anything, but I had my entire management notes in around 6 to 7 pages. Everything has to be there in that. Everything was there in that. So I just thought that only 6 pages are there. And I think I read it 2 days before this exam once. And that was the only thing I read management. So fortunately, in the management part, we got the questions that were analytical in nature. Had those questions been rectification type, I would have missed the entire paragraph because I did not remember anything. But because while making the notes, I had understood it clearly. When the questions came of analytical nature, I could solve it. And I think in the objective part, around 70 to 80% questions were correct. So it was the luck also that this time RBI went for not for a literal rectification of stuff like earlier people used to say that you can easily get 75 to 80 marks in FM part. But this time they changed the pattern. It was analytical and it worked in my favor. So you may say I'm kind of lucky in that because that helped me.
So for finance, have you worked on the fundamentals? If I ask you, because you come from engineering background, do you really understand what is a balance sheet, what is a cash flow statement, what are the different ratio analysis, or you simply went on the basic things? Yeah. Yes, Amit.
To begin, around did in this regard. I had basic idea about economics and all, and the commerce related stuff like you said balance sheet and all accounting stuff. I did try to do it. I read it once. I made the notes. I revised it, and I was like, होना होगा तो हो जाएगा, otherwise नहीं होगा तो फिर कुछ नहीं कर सकते. I tried my best to do it, but given that I had a very limited time, I had to make this ad hoc strategy. I could see that this part was introduced last year in RBI. But last year RBI did not ask any question, and given that they have only 25 to 30 question margin in FM, and they have to give management also, so I tried to capitalize on management part because I knew that at least 50% weightage will be for management. So I read that and I had basic idea about finance. I left the commerce wala part. In that also there were easier parts like about type of risks and other things. Those things I did, and the technical stuff like balance sheet and all I left that. That was like होगा ना होगा तो हो जाएगा, वरना नहीं होगा.
Because you mentioned selective studies. So
yes, sir.
You capitalized on the strength you have.
Yes.
हम भी बोलते रहते हैं कि it is not an exam of finance and economics, but
exactly.
strategy worked for you. So this is the message I want to reinforce. You are saying कि English descriptive भी आपका अच्छा ही होगा because you are good in writing. That is your strength. So I want to understand कि you otherwise an engineer. So how you build your writing skills? What is the secret sauce?
Sir, I would say first is the analytical thinking, because in UPSC also when people ask me how do you write the answers, like last year, to be very frank, last year when I gave UPSC, I prepared for mains for only 2 months. I did not have much time. After that, I suffered for dengue. I wrote the entire mains paper in dengue only, but I scored very good marks.
Yeah.
It was all because of my writing skill. And I would say one thing I say everybody, that answer writing is less about studying, more about writing, and even more about thinking. If you can think in a structured manner, you will write in a structured manner, and that is very important. People give enough time to studying, that ये पढ़ना है, ये data डालना है, वो करना है. But what is more important is if you are writing 10, you should, if you are studying 10, you should write 20 and think 40. That is important. Yeah. You have to think in a structured manner. Every thought should come in a structured manner. That is important. And for ICAR, I did extensive answer writing. I think that helped me. And for last year UPSC mains also, I did an extensive answer writing. So that built the structure, the base for answer writing. And what was needed in this exam was typing, error free, and this grammatical mistakes should not be there. Typing mistakes should not be there. For that, I practiced using Notepad, because Notepad doesn't highlight the error as soon as it comes. So I think using that thing and then checking it into word counter, checking it into Grammarly, these things help me in that regard.
Yeah. That's a very, very helpful tip, because if we are typing on Word and there is a autocorrection, so that is a problem.
Yes, sir.
Most cases there is a autocorrection nowadays.
Yes,
this is very helpful, but still I want to go a little deeper into the analytical thinking part.
Yes.
So how one can practice this, one can build this skill for the purpose of clearing these exams, of course. So what is this analytical thinking, how it comes when you are studying, what kind of questions one shall ask to develop this? How do you do?
Sir, for example, if you take any question, suppose we take the question of recent monetary policy, that this is that RBI reduced the monetary policy by repo rate by 25 basis points. I think after a large number of months, I think around 2 years or so. After that, they reduced this policy rates. Now, suppose there is a question, the RBI has reduced the repo rate. Now, we should think, what are the situations? Yes, sir.
4 5 years.
So we should think first.
RBI reduced.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Then we should immediately get the question that first is, why did they do this? What was the need? Then we can see that the stagnation in the economy, middle class is not buying, loans are getting higher, the tax is higher. So then we should think, okay, these things are gone. What other measures RBI could have taken? We should think. It is not necessary that every time we write everything. Yeah. If we can do this mental calculation, why did RBI do this? What else could they do this? Apart from that, what government could have done? Like they reduced the income tax limit and increased income tax limits and all. Apart from that, what will the consequences? Based on those consequences, what will the RBI may do next time? So this is just I'm giving an example that whenever you get an event, you should open the various dimensions, the cause of it, the consequences of it, the other measures that could be taken parallelly. What will be the way forward? What will be the consequences of the way forward? Had you been at that place, how would you have thought about it? So I think this is not necessary that we every time write this. Whenever we read or we hear something like that, you just take 5 minutes of your time and think this analytically. That really helps, sir. But this is a practice that I've developed with rigorous practice, and now I can get those thoughts instantaneously when I see a certain issue. So that is just a habit, and a habit needs a time to develop. So I think if you give a certain time to develop this habit, it will really help in long run.
Very, very good example, because this is very, very practical way. And if we keep on questioning whatever news or whatever we are studying, we will develop this habit. And when we are writing our answer, automatically our answer will have a better coverage and
exactly
on scoring high. Now coming to the interview part, and because interview may be 20% weightage, but it takes a lot of our nerves and it takes a lot of our energy. We get worried, we get nervous. You had left your job also by that time, so you must be worried that ask me why you quit your job, etc., etc. How did you prepare? What worked? How was your experience?
To begin with, I would say, as you said, the weightage of interview is lesser, but the margin is very high. I think the marks range they give is almost 100%. They start from 1 or 2 marks and take up to 75. So the difference is very high. And that is when you need to understand. It's not like UPSC where the range is very less. But in here, the range can be 100%. So that is very important. And again, in interview also, I had a very less time because I got my joining, my intimidation letter for ICAR on 19th of November, I think. And I had to complete the medical procedures and all. And my interview was on 3rd of December. So I had only around 12-15 days. And in that also I had to send the form and I had to go for medical. And also I was left with around 5 to 7 odd days. So I had to use a very ad hoc strategy. So what I did, there is a saying that you should prepare each and every word in your draft. I frankly deviated from that because I did not have time for that. What I did, I covered every broad theme. Suppose I am writing sociology as my optional, I may not know the nitty-gritties of that, but I will have the broad idea about that. But I don't think they are asking you nitty-gritties. That has already been tested in mains and pre. Now they are just checking your orientation towards the subject and whether you are true to yourself or not. So I try to have the broad idea about everything so that I should not be quite there. I have something to say. Apart from that, I worked upon those things that may be asked. For example, my employment background. For example, my engineering background. I studied a bit. For example, like I am from electronics engineering, so I read a bit about analog electronics. I read a bit about digital electronics, signal processing and all. Just the basic stuff because they will not go into nitty-gritties of that. I did this. Apart from that, I took mock sessions. Like you also took, Susheel also took one of the mocks, and they also gave me very good suggestions. There was a ma'am, she gave me very good suggestions. So I incorporated those suggestions. I again consulted her regarding this matter. I had a connection with him on WhatsApp. So I was asking him continuously for the feedback and I asked him whatever my doubt was. So this way, I think overall, I did up like certain confidence level because interview is all about confidence. I developed a certain confidence yes, I have read something. It's not that I'm going to be quite there. I have read something.
What was the real interview? Out of all this preparation, how it went and when you entered, what kind of questions started? Because the starting 2 questions are very, very important for building confidence or breaking the confidence. So how it went?
So I would say my interview was one of the longest interview in the interview process. It went for around 40 minutes.
40 minutes?
It was very good. Yes, sir. It was very good.
Were you the very first candidate? How much time?
Yes, sir. I was on the second day, I was the first candidate. I don't know how they arranged it. I saw my name at first and I was like, this time I'm gone.
Okay.
So I think it was around 35 to 40 minutes, like tentatively. I don't remember, but it was more than half an hour for sure. So it went very long. And I seemed to, I could sense that the interview was going very good. But I had certain idea that I'll get good marks in that. Because there was a question when it was the first interview of the day and they were they came and it was the starting time. So everybody was quiet and all. So they asked me a question that, okay, tell me, they gave me a certain issue and I don't remember the issue exactly, but they said me that finance minister is saying something else and RBI governor is saying something else. They have a differing view on this. So whose side would you take? Then I did not have any idea about that issue. I don't remember the issue. I said, sir, I'm sorry. I did not have any idea about the issue, but I think Honorable Finance Minister must have consulted RBI governor because they generally do it when they are the stakeholder. And as you are smiling now, they also started laughing and they were laughing for around 2 minutes continuously. So I said, sir, they generally consult. It's never happened that the finance minister will take any decision without consulting RBI as long as economy is concerned. So they all started laughing and I could sense the change in the tone of interview from that moment. Because after that they were very cool and they were asking me. I think the chairman got really impressed, and after that I think in 6-7 questions it happened that whenever they used to ask something and I said no sir I don't know or sir I do not know about this, he would give me extra 2-3 minutes and ask me that you take your time, you think and tell because I know you can tell. And this happened 6-7 questions. So I think they were impressed. At last there was a question when one of the members asked me, tell me the recent issue about a certain recent issue which you were brainstorming about. I said, sir, the growing role of women in elections. And then they asked me that why do you think so? When I said sir, that voter turnout ratio of women is increasing. Apart from that, most of the schemes that are coming these days are women centric. For example, Ladli Behla is Yojana in Jharkhand, in my state only. So they are giving cash transfers to them. And then the member got aggressive and he said, so you want to say that the women are easier to bribe? I think they were checking my situation handling capacity. I said, no, sir, I'm not saying that they are easier to bribe. It's just that in the previous generation, when we see in the generation of our father, the breadwinner is generally a man. So adding 1 or 2,000 in his pocket won't make much of a difference. But for a woman who is a housewife, it has got higher marginal utility of that amount. It empowers them. It gives them a bargaining power in their family. So I think that is the reason they are focusing on women. So I don't think it is about bribing. It is about adding that marginal, for whom the marginal utility will be more. So I think they got really impressed with this answer. And there were 2-3 more questions like that, totally off the topic. So they were just, I think they were just enjoying the conversation. I really loved the interview. The board was very cordial and it was the entire interview process was the best, I think. So this is how it went.
I can say with full confidence because I am also enjoying the conversation. The questions I am asking maybe about your journey. But with the crispness and with the detailing you are replying, so this is becoming very, very interesting. Yes. But I am actually
thank you, sir.
The time of the users so that as we say in exam, we always keep it crisp and we make it 50% faster. So I'm coming to the summary part of it. So what tips you would like to give to the users? What do's, what don'ts? And one is about the RBI preparation strategy you have explained in detail. Something more about keeping the momentum, keeping the motivation because people get frustrated. You have been also preparing for a few years, though the earlier was not that serious. So something about overall journey. So what do's, what don'ts, what kind of things one shall keep him motivated in this tough journey. ऐसी कई रातें आई होंगी, लगा होगा यार कुछ नहीं हो रहा है, बहुत ही मैं I am hitting the हो रहा है. तो if you can share something which can help all of us.
Sir, to begin with, I would just say one line that we live in a society where the success is private and the failures are public. So we need to take care of that. When you fail, there will be a lot of people who will be available to criticize you. They will not take even a moment to say that. And that will deter you every single day, every single night. That is one thing. Then I think what keeps us going that time is the reason why you entered a process, whatever process it may be, not only in preparation of exam, but in any process in life. The cause of what you're doing is very important because we see in the government also when the government does something, the cause is very important. The process may fail or may succeed. There are many schemes that fail, there are many schemes that succeed. But the intent is important. Why did you come into this process? So if you have a certain objective, that why do you want to join RBI? It may be anything. You may be joining it for money because financial stability is one very important factor in India.
Yes.
So whatever the reason may be, just stick to that thing. And I think there is nothing bad they asked me in interview, why do you want to join RBI? I said that it has a good culture, everything. And it provides us very good financial stability. And it is something which I have been looking for these many years. So there is nothing bad in saying that. I think if you can be honest, financial stability can be most important reason for someone. It is for me also.
It's a good answer.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So I think...
continue.
Yes, sir. So I think that is the thing. The most important thing is this only. Why did you enter the process? And if you keep reminding yourself, then I think that is the good enough motivation because outer motivation will last for a day or two. But the fire that is within you to do something is most important. And secondly, what I would say is there are people who are from outskirts areas. There are people who did not have good educational background, who are not that good in English. Or there are people who do not have that financial stability to take a coaching, afford a coaching or something. I am the live example of someone who prepared in 2 months without any coaching, without any prior experience, cleared it in first attempt. So I think it can be done. It's not something that cannot be done. The only thing is sticking to the path because there is a famous saying that if you give me 4 hours to cut a tree, I'll use 3 hours to sharpen my axe. It's the same thing. You have to stick to the thing. Just make a plan. Walking on that path is not a big thing. Building a road takes years. Walking on it takes not even minutes. So making the road is important. Chart out a clear strategy. Chart out a clear plan. How are you going to proceed? What will be your micro plans? What will be your macro plans? And then stick to it. On an average, you should stick to it. Suppose you make a plan of studying 10 hours daily. One day you may study only 6 hours. Next day study 14 hours and make it average to be 10. Your average goal should be achieved. What happens? People chase every single day's target and that becomes tough. Because everybody today in Telegram say that you have to follow day-wise plan, etc., etc., and people start fearing. So do not follow everyday plan. You cannot stick to a certain plan every day. There is no human being that can do this. But on an average, you should stick to it. Whatever your broader target is, suppose you want to finish finance part in a week, then you should be able to do that. Or you can take a buffer of a day or two. That should the most important thing. Make a plan, stick to that plan, consult those who are good in this field, consult those who have experiences of this field. There are teachers, and not necessarily on a paid platform. There are people like you conduct various workshops and all. That can be utilized effectively. Whatever doubt you have, you come to those workshops. Even I have come to many workshops to ask my doubt because I did not have any idea about this exam. There's nothing bad in that.
Yes, yes.
Next year, when you will be sitting at my place, you will not cherish those things when you were trying. You will cherish those moments when you came to that workshop and learned something new that was helping you to make into this exam. Apart from that, this is just an exam. There are people who have been clearing before me. There are people who cleared it with me, and there will be people who will be clearing after me. So it's just a matter of time and nothing else. That would be what I will say.
This is absolutely true, Amit, and very, very sharp, very, very pointed. I love talking to you. So I'm sure that's why your interview went for 40 minutes, kind of.
Thank you, sir.
But here I am trying to keep it to the point for the interest of the user. So I'm going to close it here. And
yes, sir.
Any questions, people, you can ask in the comment. Amit will find out some time to reply those because he's still having some time
sure, sir.
before he joins RBI. And if there are comments, we can do sometime more sessions with Amit. We will see because in between to join AO with ICAR.
Yes, sir.
So Amit, absolutely interesting chat and love talking to you. You are really, really sharp to the point. You are very focused.
Thank you, sir.
You said the strategy of keeping the focus, keeping selected material, keeping selected study, keeping your focus on the selected questions in the exam. So the art of the art of analyzing, helping in that descriptive writing. So I think these are very powerful points you have shared. It is up to the students now how they pick up and they get benefited from this experience.
Sir, may I take a moment in this regard?
Yes, please.
Sir, I would say that when we practice mock test, especially for QRE part, I think there is a focus of people that they solve a question, then they see that, okay, out of 30 questions, I could solve 10 questions. And they will go and see that, yes, these 20 questions we were able to solve. These 20 questions we could not solve. So they go and see the answers and all. They analyze everything. That is good. But the first test they should see in a mock test is whether I was able to tackle all the easier questions or not. Because you should not be missing upon those. It is far easier to hit a static thing than a dynamic thing.
Yes.
So I think first thing you should do in a mock test while analyzing it, see that whether did you miss any easy questions. Or did you spend your time in some tough question which were purposefully made to skip? That is very important because I think there would be less than 1% of the people who will be using quant and reasoning to score high. It is generally used to clear the cutoff. So if you are not that good in quant and reasoning part, you should stick to this thing. That first target these easy topics like average, topics like simplification, ratio, proportion, and do not dwell into the bigger topics like profit and loss, which can be very dynamic at times, in simple interest, compound interest. So this selective strategy is very important.
Very fair point. In fact, I missed talking this part, how you analyze the mock test, because phase 1 is very, very difficult to crack. Most of the people fail there in the strategy of phase 1 because they are always worried about the phase 2 part. The syllabus is very, very interesting in phase 2. But good that you mentioned about this phase 1 preparation. We call it picking up the low-hanging fruits.
Yes.
That is the strategy here. In reasoning, in quant, in English, you have ample opportunity. In general awareness, actually, the breadth also matters. But in QR, though, there are good enough of low-hanging fruits. But the point is, you have to identify these low-hanging fruits. And that comes with the experience of doing more mock tests.
Sir, I think there is a strategy for general awareness also which they can do. And I think it works. What we can do, there are channels that make videos about the current affairs. Like one is they give the compilations. The other thing what they do is make videos about those things. For example, you take any platform, even in your platform, you have free videos of current affairs, daily current affairs, monthly current. I think you should listen to those because at times what happens that everything may not be given in a compilation. But when you listen to that conversation, the person who is explaining you, the teacher who is explaining you, they may say many things that are not there in that PDF. And those things really come in handy. Because they will not ask exact, because whatever is given in a compilation, even the interviewer can see that that is very important detail and everybody will read it. So they go into the peripheral areas. So at times listening to those videos helps a lot because they give many peripheral areas. They give you a story to build upon. They explain the entire event. So you develop a lot of subconscious ability. And then the MCQ format of general awareness, we don't need to write an answer. We need to recognize an answer. So even if you have something in your subconscious mind, as soon as you see the option, it will hit. So that is one thing that you can do to develop that subconscious mind of remembering things. And I think it really helps, sir, because in my state answer preparation of 2 months, it really helped me a lot because you cannot remember everything. Being a human, it is not humanly possible.
Not possible.
So I think that thing,
Absolutely.
it helps a lot.
Yes. So listening these kind of interactions and hearing the story around it, no, so that helps you in eliminating the options also.
Exactly.
You can figure out that the story, the reason was very different, so this cannot be the reason.
Yes.
So you eliminate 2
Exactly.
options. Then if you can eliminate 3 options, so you have now 50% chances of being right.
Yes, sir.
And if you can eliminate 2 options, we shall always attempt. So we know that.
Yes, sir.
The rule of the probability. So this is very, very interesting chat, Amit. Very, very helpful. And I
thank you, sir.
Blessed for joining RBI, but still you will have
thank you, sir.
to keep mentoring, keep guiding the future aspirant. And if you will have another opportunity to meet sometime, we'll definitely do. Thank you very much. Best wishes
Sure, sir.
for my exam B.
Yes, sir. People can connect me on Telegram also. They can ask me their specific doubts. We can discuss it there also. Whoever has any doubt, I'll try my best to sort it out. Of course, it will not be possible to do everything, but I'll try my best to do it.
That will be helpful for everyone. So thank you.
Yes, sure, sir.
All the